Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, Functional Medicine Centers. Excited to talk to you today about thyroid medication and something that we're seeing over and over and again, and a study that just came out showing that people are over prescribing levothyroxine, that it can actually have some negative effects, and that we need to figure out what else really is going on. And that's what I'm going to show you today. What is the actual underlying problem and things that we can actually do to overcome these thyroid issues as opposed to just medicate. So here's the deal. A lot of you on here probably are on some type of thyroid medication. Over 20 million people a year are prescribed levothyroxine. Give me a thumbs up out there if anybody is on levothyroxine or some other type of thyroid medication. You can pop it down below what you're taking. But also, if you are watching and I haven't seen you in a while, or you're new, go ahead and pop down below where you're watching from. We love to see patients all over the country, all over the world. So there's some thumbs up coming in. Some of you guys are on thyroid medication. So here's this study. It was in the JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, and they said there was a substantial overuse of levothyroxine prescriptions in this country, and not just a little bit, but substantial. They said only about 8% of patients that had hypothyroidism, had full-blown hypothyroidism, that actually found benefit from the levothyroxine. So there we go. Hello there in the Philippines and Wellington, Colorado. Good to see you as well, Joyce. So the interesting part with this study, and it was a pretty massive study, over 118,000 people were monitored in this study, and they looked at pre-T4 levels, post-T4 levels, and a lot of different information that was coming in. What they found was that a lot of these doctors are prescribing levothyroxine. Hey Sharon, on Armour in Wellington, Suzette, good to see you there in North Platte. A lot of these doctors are prescribing levothyroxine for what they called mild or subclinical issues with the thyroid. And the interesting part was that these mild or subclinical, it's not just because, here's the thing. For years we've looked at thyroid numbers and we've found that there's a narrowed range, healthy range that we want people to be in, but not this broad range. But they weren't just going off of lab values in that continuum, they were going off of symptoms. And what they found was that those quality of life symptoms like depression, the fatigue, cognitive function, weight gain, a lot of these symptoms didn't change when people went on levothyroxine. And so that's one of the big things this study was looking at, was that is it worth it, one, to have somebody taking another pill and prescription and going to Walgreens and doing all this stuff, and two, is it actually adding value, and I guess three, could it actually be causing some problems? Because what other studies have shown, and they talked about this in that JAMA article, what other studies have shown was that long-term use of levothyroxine is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular disease, dysrhythmias, so the heartbeat not quite right, osteoporosis, fractures, a lot of different things if someone's on levothyroxine for a long time. So here's the deal. Root cause, that's what I want to get to, and that's the whole point of functional medicine, is getting to that underlying root cause. Where are these imbalances coming from? Because obviously just taking levothyroxine doesn't fix anything. But we've talked about this many other times in my videos. It's probably not your thyroid, and what I've talked about is, one, it's Hashimoto's. And 80% of the women that have hypothyroid and a noticeable, significant clinical hypothyroid, it is Hashimoto's, meaning either the thyroid is being attacked or the bus that transports around the body. Give me a thumbs up if anyone has Hashimoto's out there and is dealing with any of that. Joyce, CT shows my thyroid has atrophied to the point they could not see it. Can it come back at this point? You know what, Joyce? Not sure. You know, there's a lot of different things going on in those specific situations. Is it a Hashimoto's? Yep, there's some thumbs up coming in. Is it a Hashimoto's? Excuse me. That would be the first question that I would ask. You know, how much has it atrophied? Has it been attacked and destroyed? Those are the questions we need to know. So here's the deal, is that long-term levothyroxine use has been shown to cause cardiovascular disease. It's been associated with dysrhythmias, osteoporosis, fractures, a lot of things. So even these people that are taking it with subclinical, hey Michelle, good to see you in Estes, subclinical, very mild cases, maybe they shouldn't be on levothyroxine. But also, it's not just take them off of that thyroid hormone. Maybe we should be figuring out why. And why is the thyroid going haywire when a lot of times it's not the thyroid, it's the autoimmune, Hashimotos. Other times it's the underconversion. So a lot of people have plenty of T4, their T4 goes up from taking that levothyroxine, but they have very minuscule T3. T3 is that active, good, usable form of thyroid hormone. And if we've got the beaver dam buildup, you're not getting it across. Hey Candy, good to see you there in North Dakota on Armor Thyroid. So again, whether somebody's on Armor, levothyroxine, hey Don, good to see you in Brentwood down there, any of these different thyroid medications, you still have to make sure that you're fixing the underlying problem. Just like somebody slathered on testosterone or going on bioidentical estrogen, progesterone, any of those different ones, you've still got to make sure that your body is working optimally and figuring out why it's out of balance in the first place. Because if all we do is just slather on testosterone to somebody, they might make more estrogen than they're supposed to, and then the guy's having man boobs or all types of different things. So same thing here. Why is the body deficient in thyroid hormone in the first place? And that's what you got to figure out. Are you not making enough? Do you have Hashimotos? Are you attacking your own thyroid? Are you not transporting your thyroid around the body because you've got Hashimotos to the bus? Are you under converting that T4 to T3? Where does that happen? Two places. One in the liver, one in the gut. And so if the liver and gut are not working as well as they should, no way are you going to be getting that T3, getting that get up and go like you should. So here's the deal. For those just jumping on, this study was just came out last week in JAMA, and they said that there's a substantial overuse of levothyroxine in this country, of those prescriptions, that many people are having these mild subclinical cases, and the levothyroxine is not helping that, especially when we look at symptoms. One, they looked at two things. They looked at symptoms and they looked at the actual thyroid numbers. And there was actually, from the time that they started the study to when they looked at the finish of the study, the T4 actually went down. I mean, it was minimal, but it definitely did not go up. It actually went down a little bit in the body. And the symptoms did not change either. So for these people, and they were saying only about 8% of the people had significant change being on levothyroxine with their blood work and with their symptoms. So what does this tell us? That we are overprescribing levothyroxine. There's potentially problems with that. And for those 20 million people out there that go to their doctor and they get their pad, here you go, take that prescription again. Oh, your number's up, your number's down, your number's up, your number's down. It's probably going to do that anyway, regardless of what somebody's taking. Yes, there are some people that feel way better taking thyroid hormone replacement, but most people, it is not changing their symptoms that much. And we know that no one, it actually fixes the problem, because the body is not just deficient for the heck of it. Sure, if you've had thyroid cancer and your thyroid's removed, there's those specific situations, but everybody else, if you just have low thyroid production, you've got to figure out why. Get to that underlying reason there. And hey Candy, so very tired all the time. Absolutely, but here's the deal, Candy. A lot of people check out my videos, it's probably not your thyroid, where a lot of people say, oh, I'm tired because of my thyroid. But for those of you that have been patients that are on here, tell them, it could be blood sugar, it could be liver, it could be gut, it could be brain, it could be the immune system. All types of different things can cause that fatigue. But we've been trained to just go, oh, you're cold, you're tired, you're crying at commercials, your hair falling out, you've got thyroid issues, and that's it. Give you that thyroid medication, you're gonna be fine, move on. on and go from there. But what this study is showing is that for the vast majority of you, that is not going to fix the problem. That is not going to solve where these issues are. Just taking T4 is not the solution, and just getting on Armor or Nature Thyroid T3 and T4, that doesn't fix the problem either. Sure, it gives you a little bit of T3, but it's not fixing the problem. That's what you've got to get to. You've got to calm down. If it's autoimmune, you've got to calm down that immune inflammatory cascade. And that's really what we're looking at. Don, thanks for the share there. So we've got to calm down that immune inflammatory cascade. But first you've got to find out, is it Hashimoto's, TP, TPO, or thyroglobulin? Do you have either of those antibodies? If you do, you've got to calm down that immune response. You've got to look at your T4 to T3 ratio. And if that T4 is too high and the T3 is too low, then you're going to need to help that conversion. Yes, Michelle, thanks for that vote of confidence for Candy there. Keep looking for those underlying issues. It's probably not just your thyroid. You've got to dig deeper through there. So it could be that underconversion from the T4 to T3. But you've also got to look at that whole broad blood work and say, what else is going on? Where else are there imbalances? Is it my testosterone is too low, but that's actually because the DHEA is too low, but that's actually because the adrenals are worn out, and that's actually because the brain is too revved up and in this fight or flight state. You've got to keep digging back, fixing those underlying imbalances, and that's the solution. That is how you're going to get your life back. There's no amount of medication, nothing else that is going to fix these underlying imbalances from just taking a medication. Samantha would love to see some more about detoxifying the liver. Sweet, I will do a video on that this week. So guys, love having you on. If you've got any questions at all, pop those down below. We monitor this page all the time. We'll answer questions on there. If you've got specific questions that you want to ask about your case, about what you have going on, about your thyroid, about your energy, direct message us, and we communicate with people all the time that way. Can give you some solutions no matter where you are in this country. We've got our Phoenix location, Nashville location, Fort Collins will be going worldwide in the next few years, but definitely even multiple states this year. So we're excited. We're going to be helping more and more people and just getting this healing modality out to the masses. So love to see you guys. If you've got any questions at all, go ahead and pop those down below, and we will talk to you guys soon.